I am now creating weekly exclusive content for Patreon, so if you are interested in that, go check out the link down below. And of course, if you want to avoid the random lottery of FIFA points, you want to go straight to the source, buy the players directly, use u7buy.com and use the code TVM at checkout. What is going on, guys? TVM here. Welcome back to yet another player review. I managed to get myself the 91 rated Allan out of the Flashback pack, so I thought, haven't used him. He's still available in game. You can go and get him now, even if you didn't get him in the Flashback pack. So why not review him, right? He's very expensive, actually. I wouldn't say he's too expensive for his card and how good he is, and we'll talk about that. But he's 400,000 coins for a 91 rated card. That sounds like a lot, and if they drop that as an SBC, just as a stand, like say they dropped a Summer Heat card, say this Flashback card didn't exist, they dropped a Summer Heat 91 rated Allan, and they said, look, yeah, you can pay 400k for it, I'd be a little bit apprehensive. I'd be like, hang on a minute, that sounds a lot. 93 Firmino is 400k, and people are on the fence about that, so I really don't think that is going to fly. However, this was released, when was it released actually? 22nd of May, so to be fair, only a month ago, and he was 400,000 coins, and people were very happy about it, and myself included. I actually was about to start working towards it. Then I got Axel Witsel done instead, because obviously that had an expiry, and turns out Witsel is incredible, and I don't really need to upgrade that. So yeah, with that being said, let's get into it really. He does have another Flashback version 88. I'm still unaware whether you can pack the non-premium versions of Flashback cards in that guaranteed pack. You'll have to let me know if you're one of those who has been unlucky enough to get one. Except in Militao's case. I think Militao is still a bit of a win there. 4-star skills, 3-star weak foot. In this situation, I would much love that to be the other way around. Much prefer that to be the other way around. I've used him mainly as a box-to-box central midfield player, kind of helping out in the midfield in a 4-2-3-1. My other midfielder, of course, is the holding player. He's the CDM that stays back. So, yeah, I mean, you can use him as a CDM if you want, because he's very suited to that, but I kind of want him to go forward a little bit. Not because he's good at going forward necessarily. It's just the way that this card fits the game. He has an average body type, but he feels very lean. He's only got 88 agility, but he feels very agile. It's one of those cards that for absolutely, well, I would say absolutely no reason, but one of those cards that if you didn't know who it was and you looked at it on paper and I said to you, is this meta? You'd go, maybe, but probably not, because his sprint speed is only 81 compared to 90 acceleration, so there's a big gap there. The agility is not in the 90s, and then of course 3-star weak foot, not a lean body type. He is 5'9", which is very well suited to the game. High defensive work rate, which is very good for that sort of holding role. But on paper, in my opinion, doesn't really, I wouldn't say suit, but he's not like top meta, right? However, looks can be deceiving. Do not judge a book by its cover and a load of other cliches that I can't think of right now. This card fits the game almost as good, if not better, than anyone else you will pick up. He is unreal how suited to the game he is. Meta in every sense of the word. Can I explain it? Not really, if I'm honest. He's got some very good defensive stats. I mean, with a chem style, you can get them all up to 99 very, very easily. It's almost a waste, in a way, to actually use a defensive chem style on the card, because he's so good in terms of his defensive stats. I think it might be better giving him more of a passing and maybe even pace boost. So Catalyst is not a chem style that is used very often, but in this case it might actually be worth it, because you get 99 short passing, 99 vision, you get 93 crossing, and then you get 99 acceleration, 91 sprint speed. So that's not bad. I mean, it does only turn him into a 95 rated CDM, and I say only because if you gave him a backbone, for example, he turns into a 97. Same with a powerhouse. So it's entirely up to you what you want to do. I wouldn't be against going for something like that. A Guardian is another good option, because you get that agility up to 98, and of course you help that ball control, dribbling, composure, and then you get 99 for everything in terms of defensive stats. It's entirely up to you what you want to do. Backbone, Guardian, they're all pretty damn good. I went with a Guardian just because it was cheap and cheerful, because I'm not sure whether I'm going to keep this card or not. I'm sort of like on the fence with it. It's just because I've got it on an account that I don't really play an awful lot of games on. It's mainly just like a 6 PM content account. I will obviously play games with him. What's what you're watching right now is me playing with him, but I don't know whether I'll play with him much beyond this point. I got Andrea Pirlo on the account day before yesterday, and him and Allan in the middle were actually very, very good. I think moving Allan into that like actual CDM role and then using Pirlo as that sort of, I wouldn't even say box to box really, but just like holding pass master. I mean, go watch that guy's passing range in the video that I released yesterday morning. Absolutely incredible range of passing on Andrea Pirlo. But yeah, I played him the other way around just purely to get more out of Allan for the review. I did play one game with him as a CDM, and I've used him before in terms of the 86, so I knew what to get out of him as a CDM, and he does work very, very well. Very, very capable CDM. The only trait that he has, unfortunately, is solid player, and I have absolutely no idea what that means. When you look at traits, some of them will say like CPU, AI assisted, or whatever it is. Those don't count because those are what, when you play against the card, that's what he has. You don't get the benefit from that. Solid player doesn't have that AI assisted, so I have no idea what solid player means. I'm guessing it might mean that he's just well-rounded and maybe gets a boost from that. That could explain why he feels as well-suited to the meta as he is. I'm not sure. In terms of the weaknesses, because this card is definitely not without its faults, in terms of going further forward, his positioning, the further forward you get, obviously is just as good as when it is in defense, so I wouldn't worry about that because he does have 90 attack positioning. The unfortunate thing about the card, or things I should say, is sprint speed to acceleration, definitely an issue at times, because there is going to be very few situations where you're going to be caught and you have to sprint back, because theoretically most of you will use this guy as a CDM, and rightfully so. If you use him like I do, or as I have done in the review, I would normally use him as a CDM, but if you use him as a box-to-box-esque midfielder in a 4-2-3-1, for example, or even a 4-1-2-2 or something like that, if he goes forward and you end up doing like a couple of 1-2s and the space opens up and you think, well, I'm just going to have to keep going here because I've got space, I'm going to run into it. The problem you run into then is if you do end up losing possession, whether it be with Allan or whomever, you then have to track back. He's got 90 acceleration. That's very good. However, when you start, he feels quick, and then he just starts to slow, and that's the sprint speed. And that's why I hate it when players have, for example, 90 acceleration, 81 sprint speed, because they start to get back really quick, and then just when you need them to keep that going, to just get that foot in for the challenge or to get the body in the way, they start to drift off a little bit. If you're having to chase a Diaby or Sancho's team of the season, or any team of the season really, with like 99 acceleration sprint speed, you are going to struggle. Initially you'll keep pace and then you'll just start drifting away. And of course, thankfully, Kent is only in draft, so we don't have to worry about that. But yeah, because I mean, no one's going to catch him. Even if you had 99, you're not catching that guy. But that's just why doesn't happen that often, obviously. But if you do find yourself up the pitch, just bear in mind, getting back can be, it's not going to be an issue in terms of chasing down other CMs and CDMs. That's fine. It's just when you have to chase down these unreal quick players up front, right? Your Aubameyangs and those type of players. With the Guardian, you remove any degree of problem, not that there was one, with the agility, going from 88 to 98, unbelievably responsive. Left stick dribble is sensational, big fan. Weak foot, yes, that is a problem. Regardless of where you play him on the pitch, that is a real annoying trait to have, really, a 3-star weak foot at this stage of the game. I like to be able to pass it out whichever direction I'm facing, and sometimes at distance as well. I do tend to keep sort of a tight game unless I'm playing with Pirlo and then it's just pinging all over the place. But yeah, I do tend to try and play it where I'm facing, and most of the time it does work. But now and again, when you have to play it on the weak foot, you are rolling the dice, and that is, you just want to try and eliminate that amount of sort of chance of you losing the ball, really. So having players with 4 or 5-star weak foot isn't necessary, but you are eliminating the chance of an error. That, at the end of the day, that's why people want them, right? That's why 5-star is so desirable, or at least 5-star weak foot. All in all, though, the card is sensational. If you've got him out of the guaranteed pack, you are a very lucky chappy. And of course, if you haven't, but you've maybe worked towards it, or you've already got it, you already know. But it's still a good card. You can still grind for it. 82 to 88 SBC is obviously still there now. It's been reissued for another 6 days, 7 days. So you can still grind and build it up that way. If you are going through the bronze to silver to gold, 82 to 88 upgrades, and you are grinding cards that way, which is a very fun way, cost-effective, that makes more sense, way of doing things. If you are doing that, then don't look at the price of Allan, just get the rate in there, right? Still worth it, in my opinion, if you grind. Not worth it if you go out and buy the cards to go into the SBC, because 400k for this guy is a lot of money to spend. But if you've got some things to offset the price, you are definitely going to still have an end game CDM out of him. He just fits the meta so well. If you have enjoyed this review, do me a favour and hit that like button. Let me know who you got in your flashback packs in the comment section down below. Subscribe to the channel for new, and until the next time, goodbye.
Football Index. The game changed. Download the app now.